Listen to the economy, the story that no one wanted dominating the headlines in 2011, but at times it really did. Unemployment and debt crises have taken entire nations to the economic brink. The markets have been through some pretty big ups and downs as well. Have a quick look just at some of the numbers. This is the US first of all. The Dow Jones actually up 5.5% over the year. Levelled out quite nicely. The FTSE in London, though, down the same. A loss in value of about $131 billion. France's CAC 40 got hammered, down 17% on fears of French banks' exposure to European debt. Germany not much better, the DAX 15% down, the Eurozone, the export fears actually weighing heavily there. And here's Asia. Really tough year in Asia, actually. Japan's Nikkei down 17%. Not just the economy, but remember the earthquake and tsunami were big factors. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong off 20% nearly. India's Sensex off more than 24% because of high inflation in India and a weak currency. And then down in Australia, the ASX 200 closed down 14.5%. Those numbers, though, only tell one part of the story, and arguably not the most important part. 2011 was the year austerity took hold, particularly across Europe. It brought people to the streets, it toppled governments, it basically made life a lot tougher. This from Bhanu.
It was the anger of the people that marked 2011. Anger at austerity, anger at still having to pay the price. Bailouts were approved for Greece and Portugal, and Europe screamed. The United States got a talking down, losing its AAA credit rating in August. All because of concerns over the budget deficit and the rising debt burden. And as similar problems continued in Europe, leaders struggled to get the situation under control. Officials kept meeting, and the people kept protesting. Then the anger ended up right at Wall Street's doorstep. The unprecedented Occupy Wall Street movement was born in September, and it spread across the United States, eventually turning global. The pressure was too much for those being held responsible. The first to go, Greece's Prime Minister George Papandreou handed in his resignation in November. Not long after that, Italy's seemingly untouchable Silvio Berlusconi, it was the economy that finally unseated him. And Spain's Zapatero was voted out, all three men replaced by technocrats. Those who still held on struggled to control the economic crisis and save the euro. The cracks started to show.
The difference between the ins and the outs, those in the euro and those out of the euro, has inevitably created some tensions within the European Union.
We have to do everything to save the euro because the UK has already decided to opt out of the euro. In that sense, there is already a two-speed Europe. You want to be part of Europe, but not part of the euro.
There's lots left to do in 2012. More austerity measures are expected, and that will most certainly translate into more anger on the streets. Bhanu, Bhatnagar, Al Jazeera.